think Guardians of Lore is basically Lore
Part of the
Hub.
Lore Hub.
Yeah.
But their website's not that. It's guardians of lore.pinecast.co, unless they have a new domain.
Fuck is all that?
A lot of people don't like to pay for domains or don't know how to. They're actually pretty inexpensive. You can get them like $10 a year, but then people don't know how to do the DNS setup and all that.
You pimp out your services.
I know, right? Okay, we will charge other Destiny podcasts if you want a domain. We can set that up for you. All we ask is that you
subscribe to onlysins.com.
No, hell no. All we ask is that you send all your users our way. All right, Sin, get us
you'll just slide in some slick redirects in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 175 of the Guardian Hub podcast, where we take over all other Destiny podcasts, interview guests, and talk about our love of the game. I don't know if you're going to keep the pre-show in, Sin, but that'll make sense if you do.
Some of it.
How you guys doing, Des, Sin?
Magical.
I'm doing pretty good.
I have
Kingsley?
my pre-game paste picante salsa and chips I was eating before the podcast.
So you're pacing yourself.
It's all right. I'm only slightly jealous because I had Bojangles, so I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good.
The funny thing, though, is I do Walmart delivery a lot because I have the Walmart Plus subscription, and they have it's free delivery for pretty much any size order. So I just throw like a $5 tip because they're not super far from our location. But I did order mild pace. I'm good with like the spicier ones, but my wife isn't. And they sent us medium, so she'll have to survive this time. I didn't feel like doing a return. But it was yummy. I was eating that before the show.
Nice. We saw pictures in our DMs.
Yeah, in our private Guardian Hub Discord chat between the three of us.
Yep.
Which you too can join
1.0.
if you pay us $200 a month. We'll let you join.
Holy moly! I will request a new desktop computer if we do all that.
Exactly right. We'll split it evenly between Desmi and Sen. And boy, $200 a month. That can still, a few months. We'll all have some money to get some cool stuff.
Right.
That'll be worth letting people slide into our DMs, right, gentlemen?
They can slide all they want.
But in the meantime, you'll just have to listen to us. Podcast is normal. We have our live listeners. Welcome. Thanks for joining. And I suppose we'll start about. I told you, Sin. Are you happy? What I'm doing is I was eating chips and salsa. What have you been up to, Sin?
Nothing these last couple days.
Oh, come on.
Been lounging around, watching the kids. Didn't really do much Destiny. I logged in to do the Ascendant Shard. That was about it. From Tuesday Reset
Shard. That's right.
That's basically about it. But other than that, I've just been relaxing. Found out somebody that I work with has COVID, so he's going to be out for a little while. And,
so do you have to work more, or what does that mean for you?
No, I won't work more. That's one good thing about this job is I'm off. It is what it is. There just won't be anybody in the store. So I've had a little bit of a back pain, but other than that, not too shabby. At least no COVID. At least that, not that I'm aware of.
What is with that GIF in the chat you posted, Sin? It looks like she's coughing out chalk.
So for anybody who's listening to this after the fact and not paying attention to the live chat, Kato said, let me grab some food right quick or whatever. And I was thinking, let me clear my throat. And that was the first GIF that popped up.
Yeah, that's pretty dramatic. There's like chalk spewing out of her face.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me, chalk dust. Or some kind of white chalky smoke. Des, what's up? Even if you haven't been playing Destiny, what have you been doing, life or gaming?
Well, like I said, I got some Bojangles today, so
Yeah,
life is pretty good. For those that don't know what,
yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, for those that don't know what it is, the best way I can describe it is basically competition for Popeyes. They do kind of Cajun inspired things. It's a slightly spicy chicken, but not. It's kind of on par with like Popeye's mild food. And as far as I'm aware, there's not really a spicier version of it, but it's fine because it's delicious and it's good. It's become one of my favorite chicken spots, and there's one not very far from me, so
Nice.
it's slightly out of the way, but not really because it's on the way to where, like, one of the spots I do grocery shopping.
So we have Popeyes in Utah as of about 5 or so years ago. They came in with a bang. But yeah, definitely not Bojangles.
Yeah, I think as I was moving out of Alabama, I think we were getting a Bojangles. Okay, so we had one by the time we were moving from Alabama, but it was still like a relatively new thing. So I don't know like a whole lot about it, but when we came up here and like I said, found that shopping spot and just directly in front of it is Bojangles and I tried it and it is so good. I'm still trying like we haven't had it super often, so I'm still trying like some menu items. They have like these seasoned bow fries, which are good as long as you like seasoned fries because they are not shy on their seasoning. So if you have sodium dietary restrictions, don't get the fries.
I feel the same with Popeyes. Yeah, everything's super salty, but it's yummy.
Yeah, try the Cajun pintos, and those are like fantastic. Oh my god, so good. But anyway, yeah. So I had some of that. Been playing some Yu-Gi-Oh. It's been fantastic. So yeah.
Nice. Sorry, just writing something to the wife. She's picking up food on the way home. Not Bojangles or
Indian.
Or, no, just some Jimmy John's, but still.
That works too.
Yep.
Not bad.
Yeah. I like the veggie sub there. It has guacamole on it, cheese, all the fixings, and then I add the hot peppers. So
all the fixings.
Mm-hmm. I'm not vegetarian. That's the one I like best for them.
That's fair.
But yeah. All right.
And also, Rodimus, I 100% agree. Popeyes is far beyond Chick-fil-A. So yeah.
I do like Chick-fil-A though.
It's good. It's just
I don't even really rate them. I like them all. Except I don't really like KFC. Maybe because
both Popeyes and KFC around here, just no Bojangles. Bojangles, I know the closest is probably like around the beach areas.
Fair.
Well, yeah, let's talk a little bit about Destiny, what we've been doing. I mean, you kind of did that, Sin, but we had in the tower, it can't even be a spoiler because the season's almost done, but nothing really big. I wouldn't even really call it an epilogue. Destiny didn't call it an epilogue, and sure enough, because they didn't have any triumphs with it. But they had a little ending thing where they said, "Go to the helm, stat." I mean, and not so many words, but And there's Callus's big mug kind of teleported above the war table, speaking at us, making fun of us, telling us that he has one up on us. And the whole helm is covered with more of the shiz. The
Egregore.
Yeah. Yep. And then blah, blah, blah. We talk, and we get an Ascendant Shard.
Yeah,
That's not mine, Helios. That's Sin's. How dare you think it's mine?
Nope. It could be mine.
It'll come yours, Sin.
It'll come out in the edits. Don't worry.
Sorry, I just had to say that. Yeah,
but yeah. I actually tracked down and watched the epilogue stuff. And yeah, Callus is talking mad trash. In much Callus fact. Yeah, Callus faction. I had to stop real quick, make sure I was saying the right name. But no, that Egregore is freaking everywhere. And that's kind of frightening.
Yeah, it is.
Because apparently Egregore is a direct communication line to the witness. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's taking over. I mean, there's so many ways they could go with this now. Like, are we just going to have to blow up the helm? I feel like it's not that old of a thing, especially being in orbit as like a ship. So I don't know,
I mean, it's potential. Moose says fungus subclass confirmed. It is potential we could get something from the Egregore. It is potential. And those paying attention to the lore extravaganza was still going, so please get your guesses in and questions and blah, blah, blah. Like Kato mentioned, like, Egregore could be the key to, like, our next, like, darkness subclass. Potentially. It is a possibility.
Yeah. But I would be, using we don't really have a flamethrower weapon, but I'd be using something on that shit right now in the helm.
Burn it all down.
Yeah.
It can be burned. It is susceptible. There are pieces of discuss with the Drifter and Eris having a conversation about Egregore, and somehow the Drifter had some. I mean, why not, right? But yeah.
And then Kato says, "Did anyone else get the level up noise and flash during Callus talking?" Moose says, "Yes." I don't remember anything like that, but maybe that's something also.
There was something in the middle of that. It looked like you leveled up.
Yeah, I was about to say in the video, if that counts, I noticed there was a level up ping, so.
Interesting. But yeah, that, I don't know if we did any raids this last week. We probably did. I feel like there's always something going on. Do you remember anything, Sin?
You said raids or something?
Do you remember anything else that we did this last week?
Jesus.
My weeks are a blur. I know we did a bunch of raids.
We can just move on. It's the end of the season. What do we have to look forward to? Well, we have a lot.
End of the season hangover.
We need to get into this because we have talk about Arc 3.0 that they dropped on us and some other fun stuff.
Finally.
In the TWAB about a few different things, but some spicy details about mods and a little more. We don't have to, however you want to take it, Des. I mean, we don't have to go through every point, obviously keep this the level that we want, but should we talk about the Arc first since that came out first?
Oh, we're 100% talking about the Arc. We are 100% talking about. You cannot pay me not to talk about Arc 3.0. The information we weren't going to get.
Hey, but now we can pace it out. So next week when we're on the
Yeah.
podcast, we can talk about just our impressions, not like, oh, these are all the details also.
Yeah. So we are giving a bunch of details, but I'm in the firm belief we're not given all of the details because I think we only have like two or three verbs that we're really working with. And if that's the case, then this is the most verb like light subclass rework that they've worked on. But it is definitely interesting, considering the fact that Arc's main verb, which is amplify, just works, which is going to be an interesting thing. Getting Arc, ability or weapon multi-kills will make you amplified, and amplified has a baseline effect across all subclasses, and that is the fact, at the very least, as you're sprinting, you can actually sprint faster while amplified. Designers say they maxed out the movement animation for what they're dubbing the speed booster. Also, shout outs to Metroid for that one. But yeah, so the way the subclasses work with amplified or can become like more ways to become amplified are different between the subclasses, but amplify is just like it's always working, unlike most of the other subclass verbs. So that's immediately very interesting. They also compare it to Crank 2. So yeah, I don't think I've ever watched that one though. So that's fair. So they start, and of course they start off with the hunters. As predicted, they are collapsing all of the super capabilities of Arc Staff into a singular super. So we're going to have full combo plus deflect capable in base on Arc Staff. But Bungie said, hey, one super sounds kind of lame. So yo dog, here's a new super.
Yep.
So these mad lads did it. We will be throwing our Arc Staff like a freaking spear to create a damage field. How strong is it? I don't know. They don't really go into specifics, but it will be free damage. It is amazing because it basically sounds like the opposite of Warlock's Well, where instead of a super healing beneficial field, you toss. They make it sound like you can actually lodge the staff into an enemy. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, so it will get, like I said, basically free damage for essentially nothing. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes open on that. Hunters will have returning combination blow, which is the arc ability that if you get a kill, you recharge your dodge. So they're leaning heavy into the power fantasy of the, what do they call it, graceful warrior monk, essentially, of just dodging, punching, dodging, punching, dodging, punching. So that's going to be fantastic. And we will also be getting Disorienting Blow, which is a blinding melee. Hunter aspects will be Flow State, which while defeating a Jolted, or Jolted is another verb, apologies. It's kind of like a damage over time, or like an area damage over time. Again, no firm specifics, but we'll know more very shortly. But either way, defeating a Jolted opponent will cause you to become amplified, and when amplified, the Hunter's slow down, man. Hunter's dodge will recharge faster and make you more resistant to damage, and you will have quicker reload times. So that's going to be a fantastic, like, general utility thing. Tempest Strike is also returning, which is the Hunter's sliding melee. That is the Arc Wave, which I believe was Middle Tree, which came with the deflect. And then, of course, we will be getting Lethal Current, which I believe was top tree, giving hunters after a dodge increased melee lunge distance, and during super, it will have your arc staff will have additional hits, and that's yeah. Arc hunters are getting blink again. Yay! Next up, warlocks. Just like the arc staff, all warlock. Oh, what do they call it? Super storm trance. There we go. They are rolling both of those abilities into a singular storm trance.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the landfall behavior of the
right.
damage shockwave underneath, and then the iconic blink behavior from the top tree arc. So blinking during the super. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean that's basically like the PvP dream, because you'll have your super shutdown with potential like dodging and killing capabilities. So it's gonna be pretty nuts, in my opinion.
And in PvE also, obviously it's the one that I'll be maining, because it's really the newish, even though it's not new. It's like they combined it to make it feel new, and it'll be the thing to play around with all this movement and electricity and blink and everything combined together. We'll kind of see how the warlock may feel like, playing the field closer-ish to like how a hunter moves around a lot. Yeah, kind of like that.
Chaos Reach will also be coming back, of course. Warlock melees will be the Ball Lightning, which is the ranged melee, which I think was with Chaos Reach.
Yeah, and it sounds very similar to like how we had the Void kind of like buddy thing that shot out, or the the solar one.
Yeah. Chain Lightning is just the basic arc warlock melee that can chain to others. They will get enhanced capabilities while amplified. Like the Ball Lightning will hit multiple times, and Chain Lightning will chain further. So that's nice things like built into it. Aspects for the warlocks are of course going to be Arc Soul. Arc Buddy's coming back. Yay.
That's good.
Yeah. Electrostatic Mind is coming back, which is nuts. Because also Ionic Traces are like kind of built into. Oh, what are they called? They democratized them. So everyone is going to benefit in some way to Ionic Traces, which is very nice. And Lightning Surge, which is a new melee, which, much like the hunters, you slide, activate melee to transform into a ball of lightning and teleport forward, calling down a field of lightning bolts at the exit point that jolts targets. That sounds kind of nifty.
It does. It definitely doesn't fit my play style, but I will try it as best as I can.
Yeah.
Because it'll be fun to see how it works.
Arc Titans are. All right, personally, yes, I was super hyped about getting a new super, because it was exactly what me and other hunters have been talking about, what we wanted. So that was fantastic. But the real hype, I feel like, is definitely on Titans. Arc Titans, just like the other two, Fist of Havoc, is getting combined. The area of effect for Fist is going to be somewhere in between the two modes. So it's not going to be as long reaching as one was, but it won't be as short as the other. So, but they are creating like this middle ground for it. And of course, returning is also Thunder Crash, which is nice. And yes, Thunder Crash is, as they say, is practically unchanged.
Could be even a little stronger if I remember reading correctly, right?
let's see. In the case of Thunder Crash and other abilities, uncoupling a subclass's abilities from the old subclass diamond system will result in some substantial buffs, depending on how players use it. So yeah, it can be potentially stronger just because of the customization, essentially.
Right.
What do you think of it so far, Sin? Well, I guess there's more to read about it, but yeah, I do want to hear Sin's thought, at least at the end.
Yeah, I think it's going to be I think there's going to be some good changes here. Not looking forward to the arc blinking from Hunters in the Crucible.
No, I'm just talking about Titans right now. Jeez. Shouldn't have even asked.
Yeah. I didn't use the other for the arc subclass, to be honest. So, I think with Thunder Crash being able to be a little bit better when it comes down to customizing it. Right now it's okay. I think it lost a little bit recently, if I remember correctly. So I think if we can up the damage on it, I think it'll be another go-to.
Okay, well, let's talk some more about the other things, since Sin may not even know about them yet.
I've skimmed through it. Because
there's some interesting things in here.
Yes. As they mentioned, one of the biggest changes coming to the Arc Titan is the new Thruster class ability. By double tapping a button while on the ground, the Titan bursts in their throttle direction at speed, performing a quick first-person evade, comparable in distance.
More Sin pushing people around.
I just thought about that as you were saying that. Exactly.
Sorry.
So yes, Kevin Yane's Yane, whatever. Kevin's wise words to Twitter are coming true.
Oh yes.
Titans have a movement ability, which is potentially quite nice. It'll be interesting to see like what it does and how it performs, because legitimately all we know is the fact that it's a quick movement ability. So we don't know exactly how similar to dodge it is, how good of an evade it is. We don't know all the details yet. We do know it is first person, so unlike a hunter's dodge, you will not be taken out of first person view. So it already sounds like a very aggressive feature.
But only while on the ground. That's interesting.
Yeah, only on the ground. Which also does line up with Kevin Yane's mentioning that air dodging is a warlock identity now. So we'll see how it plays out and exactly how useful it is. But I foresee this being quite useful, to be honest. Melee attacks, Titans are keeping the seismic strike shoulder charge. While amplified, it increases the radius of the blind, and the blinding effect lasts longer. Ballistic Slam also returns. So yeah. Oh yes, and Titans get a third charged attack, known as Thunderclap.
I find that funny.
I know what Sin's thinking.
This sounds like the epitome of risk reward, right? Because it is a melee that you literally have to charge. But apparently you can only charge it on the ground while stationary. So you can either use it as a quick jab, or as they say, you can charge it to be unleashed in a furious One-Punch Man style blast that will devastate an opponent. The charge state cannot be stored, and the Titan must be on the ground to charge it. They do say the damage is significant, as a 90% charged Thunderclap will one-shot Guardians in PvP.
Yeah.
But
careful
they do
going around
mention
those corners with
those cheeks, right, too.
Yeah. Careful going around those corners, and the Titan's just standing there.
Seriously, that's not the shotgun you have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do mention the reward will be balanced by the time it will take to build up that charge level, and the fact that you must remain stationary to charge, which is always a dangerous move in PvP. So, exactly how long it'll take to charge, I kind of hope, considering if you do have to be like absolutely stationary to charge it, I'm kind of hoping it doesn't have that long of a charge time, because otherwise the usefulness just diminishes the longer it has to charge. So, but as long as there's like some kind of balance to it, I'm not entirely opposed to a one-shot melee.
Yeah, it sounds fun actually. I mean,
Yeah,
more power.
I mean, yeah,
It's
there's
risk reward.
exactly, and that's why I don't mind, because that's one thing I like about the weighted knife on Solar Hunters, it being a one-shot. I mean, it sucks when you get killed by it, but I mean, they do have to hit a headshot. So otherwise, you're like not even half health. So I mean, either way. So Titan aspects will be Touch of Thunder, which subclasses, like certain subclasses, got changes to grenades. Arc and
Yeah.
Titans are going to be the grenade modifiers. Flashbangs will apparently give an additional blind impulse on its first bounce, which is interesting. You'll get blinded twice. Pulse, that when it damages an enemy, it will create an ionic trace. And the pulse grenade damage increases over time as the grenade lingers after impact.
Wow.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Lightning will grant additional charge and will jolt targets on initial blast. Storm creates a roaming thunder cloud that moves and tracks enemies, similar to Stasis Hunter's Silence and Squall Super, firing lightning bolts at the ground underneath it.
That is definitely an interesting change, but I like it.
What the crap? Knockout. Melee kills will start health regeneration and make the Titan amplified. Critically wounding an enemy or breaking their shield increases melee range and damage for a brief period. Hello, Daisy. Excuse me. And potentially everyone's worst nightmare is making its return from Destiny 1, Juggernaut. I hated this ability in D1 so much. It was so dumb. But anyway, while sprinting and with full class ability energy, the Titan will gain a frontal shield that blocks incoming damage. When amplified, the shield is stronger. Once the shield is depleted by taking damage, the player's class energy will also be depleted. So it will be tied to the class ability, which is the only reason I'm semi-okay with this right now. Otherwise, I would probably be talking trash because I absolutely hated Juggernaut Titans in D1. Also, they give us a very small sneak peek of fragments. Spark of Beacons. When a player is amplified, arc special weapons create a blinding explosion.
Yay, fun.
Who needs blinding grenades and GMs? They just kind of give it to you. Spark of Resistance is when surrounded by enemies, the player has increased damage resistance, which is very nice. Spark of Momentum, which this is the former Titan Arc Middle Tree ability, or was it Middle Tree? I'm not even certain anymore now. But either way, it was one of the Arc Titan abilities. Oh god, excuse me. Where sliding over ammo will reload your weapon and grant a small amount of melee energy. And if it's heavy ammo you're sliding over, you'll get more melee energy. Then the Spark of Shock, where the player's arc grenades jolt enemies.
Okay, so I did not read Spark of Momentum. Another reason I need to slide, because if I'm running this one, obviously, you slide and you get the reload. I mean, yeah, movement, sliding movement, and pushing forward movement is definitely seems to be the theme with this, right? It's like we're going to be in everyone's face.
No, yeah, movement and mobility were definitely the design features around Arc, 100%. Like, especially the whole mentality of being able to get in, essentially, which does explain Juggernaut returning. Explains why it's hunters will have damage resistance while dodging and be able to get dodge back through the melee. All the gameplay feedbacks pretty much feel, like I said, very much aligned towards just go fast and hit hard.
Yeah, and some people talking about they didn't run D1, so they don't know Juggernaut, or they didn't run it much. But yeah, like Des said, it could be an issue. We will see.
It was a nightmare. Imagine seeing a Titan sprinting at you.
And you
Get
can't
the
do
first.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the first shot of a shotgun. Guess what? Doesn't matter. He's running Juggernaut. He can shrug it off, shoulder charge you, which didn't take a melee charge in D1, so they can just run around and do it practically infinitely. Yes, Juggernaut and shoulder charge was an awful combination in D1, as you can probably tell because I still have some PTSD about it. Anyhow.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's Arc. That's what we know. Which
Arc, yeah.
Yeah. Which there's, like I said, there's a lot of information that they did leave out because again, we only know about 4 of the fragments, and what we normally get
8,
10, 12,
12,
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 8 and 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to. There's still going to be plenty to figure out. I'm going to be keeping my eyes open on that new Hunter super damage. I mean, because that can potentially just. So yeah, so TWAB, which opened up with a TLDR about Arc 3.0. They of course mainly just linked back to the blog post. It does say here, jolt. Any opponent PvP or PvP that is jolted will disperse small bolt bursts of lightning to nearby enemies. Which, so yeah, so that's jolting, kind of a AOE dot, I guess. And yes, they give us a holy crap ton of information about the seasonal mods we'll be getting next week.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of information.
I don't understand. Like, this to me is considered biggish information. And they said a few weeks ago, they're like, we're not going to learn anything big, you know?
It was just a dump of stuff.
I don't know, because if this isn't the big information, then what's the big information, right? I mean,
well, they must have just meant like the storyline, the activities, and all that. I get it, but
yeah,
this type of stuff is exactly what we were asking for last time with Solar, which they didn't give us anything until the day of.
Right. I was actually super surprised they went ahead and released Arc. I looked on the Discord and started talking. Heard like, oh yeah, Arc is this. I'm like, wait, what? Well, like I saw it in the spoilers. I'm like, wait, what? So I checked Bungie, and sure enough, there's an Arc 3.0 thing, and it's like, guys, this is released information. You don't have to go into spoilers. So this, it's okay. You can talk about it openly. But yeah, a lot of cool things. In the seasonal mod, there doesn't seem to be a lot of like filler like things. To be honest. So champion mods that are returning, we're getting overload bows, unstoppable pulse rifles, anti-barrier scouts, anti-barrier autos, unstoppable shotguns. On down the road, we're getting overload LMG. Anti-barrier snipers is making its return, which apparently was super requested.
Yeah, I like that one. That one was fun.
Yeah. So we're getting a new focusing strike, which causing damage with the melee will grant class ability energy, which is pretty nice, I'll say. God, Inferno Whip is returning, which I believe is Solar Unstoppable. I'm not 100% certain because I didn't triple, background check the information. So hey, Lightning Strikes Twice is apparently a returning. Hype train conductor on the last row, which will give you 2 extra seconds on the amplified timer, and it stacks. That's going to be interesting. Also, I love the name of it. Thunderous Retort, where Arc Supers will do more damage when cast while in critical condition, or while amplified. Yeah, it seems like Thunder Crash will be the way. Sundering Glare is also Sundering Glare is also making its return. Which, for those that don't know, this was the Breach and Clear before, like, legitimately just before Breach and Clear. Because we had those 3 seasons. So, of course, most people only remember the 2 seasons, at least. Where we had Breach and Clear, then Particle Deconstruction. Sundering Gaze actually started that lineup, and it's distance based, and it depends on, like, precision hits from particular weapons. I think it was like 3 precision hits would be needed on a scout, and like 2 precision hits on a sniper, while like 30 meters away from a target would give them a general debuff for you and the team. So that'll be interesting, especially with sniper anti-barrier. And might actually come in very much handy if Kingfall returns, because there's usually a lot of distance between you and the target.
Just God, don't tell me they're going to put anti-barrier knights up in the, you know what I mean? In the back and forth encounter. At least on a harder mode or something.
As if totems needs to be harder. Legitimately, the make or break of Kingsfall, for some reason, for most of my raid groups, was totems, and it's like the first real encounter of Kingsfall.
Yeah, but then that would match up perfectly with snipers, right? Because everyone used a sniper there, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, but like I said, as if totems needs to be any harder.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wrath confirmed.
And, I mean, that just gives me so many memories, because most of the groups I ran with, especially like late on, like, of course we had most of Kingsfall down to an absolute science, but still, like, even in the last days, entire raid groups could potentially fall apart at totems and then breeze through the rest of the raid, no problem.
Right. Yeah. It's just one of those communication things. People don't always know what to do or pay attention. We're like, okay, time to swap. And does that mean the other team or my team? Because they didn't call out clearly, like, right side swap, you know?
Totems had very, very small margin of error. It was easy. It wasn't that difficult, but it was just one slip up could just ruin the entire run. Also, we've had some epic saves on totems too, so I mean, it's not impossible. It's just, like I said, totems was make or break. They mentioned a new. Oh yeah, that's the mods that I'm going to go over, because there's a bunch.
We'll play with them. We'll see what they're like.
It seems like, at least for now, the best calendar we're getting is in this top.
Yeah. It's a list. It's not a calendar.
I mean, well, but the segment is called a calendar.
That's true. Someone's going to make a calendar. You know, those third-party sites will have some infographic.
But hey, it's more than we got last season, so. Raid launch on the 26th. They do mention 2 Iron Banners on the 6th, on September the 6th. And November the 15th, do remind us that it is Eruption. Trials of Cyrus will be returning September the 16th. And then, of course, Grandmaster Nightfalls will be on its way October the 4th. And Festival of the Lost on October the 18th. And that's our seasonal calendar. They, of course, hype up the showcase, which is 5 more sleeps from the recording of this episode and reading of this 12 when it came out. They mentioned Twitch drops. They mentioned a new community guy in Germany. And player support stuff.
They keep telling us too they're changing the patch number. We've been in the 4s, but they're upping it all the way to 6.2 for the new patch coming out.
Destiny Online confirmed for Gator.
Well,
Shut up.
they actually did mention that last week in the TWAB, and for some reason internally, the numbers were ahead of the public release. So there became certain confusions, at least internally, for communication at certain times. So they're bumping the number up to match the internal and public version numbers.
Sure, whatever.
Because it doesn't really matter.
It
But
doesn't,
hey,
especially with a number like 6.2. Shouldn't it be
Right.
6.3 or something? I don't know, because this is the third. I forget what they said the reasoning was, but
yeah, but I mean, then again, 6.0, I guess, is season 1. So
yeah,
I'm only guessing here. Only guessing. I don't work there, sadly.
I used to geek out about patch numbers, but gosh, I don't even care really. I've been seeing a new thing. Just a side point. What a lot of companies are doing now is year and month, and I kind of like it. So like, it would be 2022.8. You know what I mean? That sounds kind of weird, but then at least you can kind of know when that came out. And if there's multiple patches that need to be done that month, it'd be 8.1, 8.2, something like that, you know?
Indeed.
Yeah.
And also, as I catch up to the chat, shout out to Moose calling out Doomfist moment for the Titan Melee for all those Overwatch fans out there.
I don't know. Sure, Overwatch.
Doomfist was a character with legitimately a giant mechanical fist, and yeah, he punched you hard with said fist. That was kind of his thing. So yeah, he also had like
Go ahead. No, this is a different topic.
I was about to say he also had like a charging, forward-moving. We'll call it a fisting maneuver, just to be funny.
Everyone needs to check out. I just noticed one of the pictures in the TWAB. Ikora and Eris just chilling, and a few others just chilling in a pool with swimsuits and. Or I'm gonna post this in the chat. I don't know. It's just hilarious to me for some reason.
That's like one of those Twitter posts.
Yeah, I missed that earlier, but it is hilarious. I'm posting the picture in the chat also for anyone who's live. So, some reason that's just making me laugh. Okay. So that's the TWAB. Good information there.
That is the TWAB.
Yeah. Well, boy, we are getting close. By the time you hear this, if you're not listening live, we are just around the bend from the August 23rd next season. And we will have undoubtedly a lot of information from the live event that day, where they will give us more information on seemingly Lightfall and more.
Fingers crossed.
I think they had a press thing that did say they didn't tell us how much we're getting, but I think they did confirm Lightfall information and then the new season information. I mean, obviously, what else would they be talking about, right, when they're making it such a big thing?
I mean, for sure. And then it does line up, because I do believe it was just before the last season, or the season before last, that they gave us Witch Queen info, at least to start with.
Yeah, that's our After Dark pool party, Hazel. You know, everyone can be invited if you subscribe to our Patreon channel. We'll set up an event sometime.
Low price of $50 a month.
Yeah, that'll be a new tier. We've been waiting for something, and that is it. We will have a Guardian Hub pool party.
Sold.
All right. Well, I do need to do some stuff here, so we'll keep this show a little shorter. And then we will have lots of information next week.
Indeed.
And the weeks going forward. So we do want to thank, of course, everyone that was in the chat. It's a lively discussion. Keep those comments coming. For the people that are listening to this after the fact, you may be asking, what is this live chat you speak of? Well, you can listen to our recordings live, usually Thursday nights around 9 p.m. Eastern, by joining the Guardian Hub Discord. If you're not in our Discord, please check that out. You can just lurk. You can join the live chats. You can talk. You can bug Sin. You can ask lore questions to Des.
Do it
whatever
all.
you want.
Indeed.
And you want the link for the Discord? It's easy. Just go to theguardianhub.com and then under
The best hub
the
on
section, yes, the best hub on the net. Thank you, Sen. We will get to that again, of course. But on our website, you can get the link to the Discord, how to join it, along with other information. All right. And then I haven't mentioned this for a while, but please consider leaving a review for the podcast, because in case you forgot, we do read all reviews on the air. So you want to leave us a review, we will read your review. I have an aggregator app that will even check for reviews from people in other countries, because usually the iTunes makes it hard to do that. It only shows the U.S. ones. So feel free, even if you're not in the U.S., leave a review, and I will most likely get it. And then we will read it on the air.
Most likely.
Most likely.
Most likely.
And most likely, we should just give our shout outs. So, Des, where can people find you, good sir?
You can find me, of course, on Twitter at DES_Raven. It is a gag. You can find me across the Discords. And speaking of the Discords, again, mandatory reminder for the lore extravaganza. Wow. Screwed that one up.
Extravaganza.
Yep. Yep. You can, of course, request. Jesus. Throw in your lore questions. We are up to about 21, 22 entries for the lore questions. We're up to 6 for predictions. And unless someone comes out with a banger, this is actually going to be a super hard choice for me. Because I like them all. So yeah, that's a thing. That's my mandatory reminder. Yeah, and of course, also, if we don't get to answer it on the air for whatever reason, even the chance I probably will, of course, it will create great topics for discussion in the lore channel afterwards, so no worries. So yeah, Sen.
Well, they can find me thunder clapping those cheeks in Arc 3.0
Gross.
or on Twitter at sin_media. Kingsley, the Arc of Souls.
You are always going to be saying that every single time when you do that, I bet.
You betcha I will.
Those cheeks. Why did they have to call it that? Bungie, why? All right, you can find me as Kingsleymac all the places except for on Twitter. I'm still MC Kingsley. We will see if that bit changes down the road. You can find information about our show on Twitter at The Guardian Hub or through our lovely website, theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Des. Thank you, Sin. Thanks for everyone in the live chat. Stick around for After Dark, at least a quick one, and we will catch you all again next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
What's After Dark? So we've been doing... This is After Dark now, Muffin. In fact, anyone can join in the live. Just raise your hand and you can chat with us. And we just have a little after segment that Sin may add in something to the podcast after the closing song.
Eddie Pink, you should be able to just join right in.
Rodimus should be able to. He raised his hand.
Some of us don't have to raise our hand.
What's up, people?
What's up?
Yeah.
Hey,
Howsy?
you're on the show.
On brand.
Mohawk.
I'm just messing up words.
On brand.
Rikuist? Woo.
I
Was it
didn't I didn't realize it until Sin did his little sign off there. Has anybody ever heard of thunderclapper pills?
What?
Din's like, I
No.
need them all right now.
Right.
These next to your pack of smokes.
No. Hold on.
Immediately doesn't even want to share the information anymore.
Thunderclap those cheeks.
I'm actually Google searching that right now. I'm kind of.
Do
Hey,
it.
Rodimus, instead of doing that, leave
No.
Kato to do that. But see if there is thunderclap cheeks in the what is that? Urban Dictionary.
Thunderclap cheeks.
As opposed to just clap cheeks.
How do you thunderclap dance hall move?
Actually, speaking of that,
Urban
hilariously,
Dictionary is not getting it right. Because Urban Dictionary on Thunderclap says, a fart so loud with an explosive.
No.
That
We
is
can make our
not-
own Urban Dictionary on it.
Is that what you want, Sin?
When sin tightens.
You trying to thunderclap those farty cheeks? I don't know.